It is time, loosey-goosey chime time once again on the Air Radio Network. The Top 40 Timeline radio show is now a video show, and we call it the loosey-goosey Air Radio, whatever the hell it is. We don't even have a name for this, do we?
Not really. That's the whole loosey-goosey aspect,
Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know. And we're brought to you by Jammy Dodgers.
Jammy Dodgers.
From England, for all of those of you that are watching in England right now. We here in Canada love Canadian chocolate, but we love British chocolate even more. So there's your Jammy Dodgers.
That's not chocolate, that one. But.
No, that's not chocolate. What I'm saying, it's candy. You see what I mean? But anyway, I had a Jammy Dodger, and it was wonderful. And it says right here, no nasty stuff. We're jammy enough. There's a good one from Jammy Dodgers. And of course, the great Carnaby Company. And they make jelly babies too. Well, these are puffs. And these are really good here because Leah and I quaffed the whole thing. Gummy rings.
It wasn't me this time.
But we're just eating our candies here. We always have a little fuddle with something.
Something.
My father used to say that, fuddle. It was
yeah.
We're going to have a family fuddle, which meant we had candies and watched TV and hung out together. People don't do that anymore.
Was fuddle-duddle.
Yeah.
My mom was a fuddle-duddle.
And Trudeau was fuddle-duddle too.
Fuddle-duddle too.
Don't even get started.
Yeah, that's for sure. Big Daddy Russ Horton, I'm Lee Lake and Leah Lywood behind the camera, and we just got some news to get through.
Yeah, we got Leah's son here.
Leah's son's here enjoying the filming festivities. So
he's going to be at a picture later with his dinner jacket on.
Dinner jacket, yeah. We're getting cool enough here in Canada now that we're wearing our Acton dinner jackets, they're called.
Right, all right, so
not a bad thing to wear, but yeah, we're going to get through some news, and then we've got, of course, the best part of the show, Leah's Trivia.
That's when we have fun and rock and roll. We do a 5-minute news, and we'll get all that crap out of the way. But of course, it's not crap, really. Well, of course, we all paid a final farewell to Queen Elizabeth II with a state funeral and military procession. And, you know, what an amazing woman she was to have a lineup of people for over 24 hours just to pay their respects.
Yeah,
which included several celebrities as well that stood in line. Not just the regular folks, the celebrities were there as well. But she really was a remarkable.
And there were times, like I saw, not just pictures, but video footage of Harry and William going out and greeting the crowd and, shaking hands and kissing babies and doing that type of stuff. And so, yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was, it's been a really kind of amazing week, I guess, really, for her. And she finally laid to rest, and she can rest in peace.
God bless her. She was a great gal. She was, being a Brit, born in Britain and raised part of my life in Britain. And I've always been a British heritage. When you're raised in England, the Queen is your second mother.
Yeah.
And there's your mom, then there's the Queen. And the Queen was everywhere. I mean, even in Canada. She was when I went to school when I was a kid in Canada.
Picture hanging in every classroom. Every classroom.
Every time I made a little bit of money, I used to look at a 20, and I'd still look at a 20, and she's still right there. Now, they're going to change all the currency. I don't know if the royal family is going to survive this. I don't know. This is just my opinion, because I'm here to give my opinion. I don't care about yours. This is mine. I don't know whether I like the fact Charles is king. I would have preferred William myself.
Yes,
I think it would have brought the new generation. He's
73. It's like electing a president at 73.
And Camilla, I'm sorry, they're not the Queen. It's no comparison to the Queen.
No.
And I've got nothing against the royal family, but I'm wondering if it'll survive.
Yeah. No, I think you and many.
And no one's saying it, though. No one's saying it.
Well, of course not. It's out of taste and out of, because the Queen just passed on. Now, you could start to see people in the next coming weeks starting to come out and say things. But I've seen people, posting just on social media about, how they think that Charles is a waste of skin.
You can't replace that woman. There'll be never ever be another one like her.
Oh God, no!
Ever again.
Never again. You'll never see it.
She was the monarchy, in my opinion. Yeah. Her and Diana, I love them both.
Yeah. And
they're both gone now. But I do like William. I think he's a good lad, and I hope the royals hang on. But I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm a journalist. I look at it in black and white. Is it going to survive? How do people feel about the royal family now, the way it is, with Charles leading it, third? with all the stuff that's happened in the past.
Tough one.
As I said to you, I'm surprised
Yeah.
that
So am I.
he went into that place, that it wasn't just rescinded.
Yeah.
I think he should have passed it to William, but that's
mean,
my opinion, not yours. Maybe, I don't know.
Charles's uncle was abdicated
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of similar,
Yes.
right? And yet Charles is stepping into the position. So, anyways, no more needs to be said about that.
Now the Russian men, they're trying to get out of the country. Tempted to leave the country to avoid a military call-up for the Ukraine war.
Basically a draft.
Fun and games.
You know.
The Russians are getting their asses kicked in.
Well, that's it.
In the Ukraine.
They're not winning at the level they nearly expected to be.
But now the nuclear specters come up again.
Yeah.
I mentioned it again. Well, what kind of an asshole is this guy? I'm sorry. Putin is just a piece of work. Did you want to take the next?
Well,
bunch?
Trudeau's condemning Putin, dangerous nuclear threats, mobilization in the Ukraine war. Again, talking about this nuclear aspect of it. The West condemns Russia's plans for a sham Ukraine vote. Canada is going to drop COVID-19 vaccine mandates at the border and make Arrive Can optional.
Well, it's about time. I mean,
Well, yeah, we kind of knew that was coming. I think that's not a big shocker. Larry Moulton's sister, Dee, was in Hurricane Fiona as it's tearing through Puerto Rico. It's just
she in Puerto Rico?
They're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
They okay?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
they were there.
They
Yeah,
had
they
to
were
move
safe.
hotels and whatnot
Yeah.
to
Oh, you're
accommodate
kidding.
the winds coming through, but they're good
Yeah.
now. Everything's
I didn't
fine.
know that she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Her and her hubby.
Hurricane
Puerto
Fiona
Rico.
forecast to bring severe winds, heavy rainfall to the Atlantic Canada as well. So to all our East Coast viewers and friends and
Batten
family,
down the hatches, bye.
batten her down by. I tells you that.
And I've got many friends down east. So do you. And
Yeah.
we all do.
We all do. So
And they always get the tail end of something
Yeah.
in September.
yeah, well, but thank God it's the tail end.
Yeah,
It's
thank
Yeah,
God
it's
it
not
is,
the
yes.
beginning.
not the midpoint.
This guy is unreal. He calls himself the crypto king. Investors scramble to recoup money from a 23-year-old who allegedly owes $35 million. He's got like 7 or 8 classic cars, and he owes about $35 million. But they can only find $2 million of it to recoup. So there's a few people that are pissed. And this guy, he's got an LA Dodgers hat on. He's got his. He looks like a real winner, And but he's
35 mil is nothing to shake your stick at, man.
That's the joy of crypto.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you, right. And of course, people are having a hard time with money, and we
Food.
all are. Food purchases. People are actually buying less food because they can't afford it.
Yep.
And that, that's a serious situation.
Yeah. When
we
you're
have
talking nearly a quarter of the country.
Yeah. And of course, the fatal earthquake in Mexico,
Yeah.
which got shoved under the rug because there was so much other stuff going on. But there was a big earthquake in Mexico this week.
Yeah, 6.5 and a 6.8, I think it was. There were two
And
of them.
Canada's housing market is going to be costing more by year's end than expected. So
Yeah.
it's not a great time to own a house right now and try and sell it, I guess.
Well, that's it. That we all knew this was coming. We saw that the market peaked there. People selling houses above this and above that, and yada yada yada. It doesn't last forever. Does not. So I was quite shocked by this, but you think about he's been in the NHL for a long time. Longtime Bruins captain Zdeno Chara signing a one-day contract so that he can retire with Boston Bruins. And Chara played for 25 seasons with 4 teams and holds the all-time record for games played by a defenseman.
Well, when you remember Chara, he's a Bruin, right?
Yeah.
And a nasty, beautiful guy, but he's a nasty on the ice.
Big
you
son
don't
of
want
a
to
bitch.
You don't want to mess with him.
On his skates, he's 6'8". On his skates.
He'd be short in the NBA, though.
His,
wouldn't he?
his stick would be taller than you.
Yeah, big boy.
Actually, I think it was. I think his stick was, because the hockey sticks were only regulated up to 5'8", I think, and they had to go to 6 foot and above, because there's a couple players that are 6'8",
Yeah, it's a lot taller than
And when you got skates on, you're 6'7", and then you put skates on. Now you're 6'8".
Yeah.
So imagine how long that hockey stick would be, right? So great. I loved watching them, even though it was Boston.
Yeah. Well, the Jays are doing badly. They're the first in the wild card, and we're being chased by Seattle and Tampa Bay. But it doesn't really matter because we're in the wild card bunch, right? And I don't think Baltimore is going to catch us. And so the Jays have been playing well.
Well, they said postseason tickets will go on sale next week.
That's fun, and they're a fun group, and they could make some noise. Don't underestimate the Toronto Blue Jays this year. They're young, and the wild card teams can go as far as anybody else can.
Each year they won the World Series. Both my daughters were born on each year. Yeah. My oldest daughter was born on the first. Yeah. They were both born on the year of the Blue Jays won the World Series.
And that's something they can never take away from us, was those 2 years.
Nope.
As Blue Jays fans, but they could never take away the '67 Stanley Cup either. But we're still waiting for that.
We're still waiting for that.
You heard about Jesus went into the? I've told you that one, right? Haven't I told that joke on the air before?
Probably.
About Jesus Christ going into the Leafs dressing room in '67, and he says, "Well done, guys. Now you hang on and don't do a thing till I come back."
Yeah.
Right there.
They're still waiting.
And
we're still waiting. We're still waiting.
You can come
All
back
right, it's
anytime
time to have fun, Lee.
All right, we get into our fun part of this
Leah's
segment.
trivia. Who wants to start it? You want to go?
Go for it.
All right. 1985, this week in 1985, the first Farm Aid concert
That was so cool.
plays in Champaign, Illinois, to benefit American farmers trying to survive amidst a national agricultural crisis. I remember that very well.
Hell yeah.
Organized by Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, and Neil Young, the concert is inspired by Bob Dylan's onstage Live Aid statement that he hoped some of the money that's raised for the people in Africa, maybe they could just take a little bit of it, maybe, or just $2 million to pay mortgages in some of the farms and the farmers here owe to the banks. Willie and John, they went to bat for the farmers, and nobody will ever forget that.
That is a video. You can actually
too.
go online and watch those videos. It was a great concert, man. It was a dynamite concert. We watched it. My stepdad had it on. Remember those big DVDs, like the big ones?
Yeah.
Looked like a record, and you slid it in, and it was. My dad had tons of them, and a lot of them were music and concert, and that was one of them. It was awesome. I watched it a lot.
Do you remember those tiny little videos they used to have? Betamax, right?
The beta tapes.
That was after the VHS went into beta.
I used to have the Master Beta.
Oh.
No, the Master. But I was always wondering which one of the two was going to win that war because
Neither.
Neither.
Actually, you know why?
Well, VHS.
A lot of people don't know this. But in the television industry, they all used beta because it was more compact.
It was smaller.
It was a better quality tape as well, but it was only used in that industry. It never made it in the retail sector. So.
And I still have a lot. I still have a handful of the Live Aid VHS.
Yeah.
I still have them. I never got rid of them.
My dad was right into that, so we always had them, and we watched them a lot. Grew up living with music.
Now we can do this next story in segments because I think people have to hear the story of the song "Happy Birthday."
Right.
And
yes.
I'll let you start, and then you can hand it back
considering
to me.
it was my girlfriend's birthday this week.
There you go.
I'll start it off.
There you go. Mel's birthday.
So,
Happy birthday, Mel.
Happy Birthday to You traces back to a song written in the 1800s by two sisters, Patti Smith Hill and Mildred J. Hill. In 2015, the Happy Birthday copyright is ruled invalid, putting the song into public domain.
Now, for decades, Happy Birthday is one of the most profitable copyrights in music, earning an estimated $2 million every year. And that's because anytime the song is used in a movie, TV show, or commercial, it has to be cleared, apparently. Here's where it gets particularly insidious. Let's say Channel 9's weatherman Stormfield, that's our favorite weatherman name ever, turns 50, and his anchors end the newscast by singing him Happy Birthday. A few weeks later, there's a good chance the station will get a bill demanding payment.
Right.
And the station has little recourse since they used it on the air.
Well, This is why most theme restaurants sing their own birthday songs. Happy, happy birthday from Bannigan's to you. There, they change it up a little bit. Because if they sing happy birthday, they actually have to pay up.
Wow.
The song has a long and entangled history dating back to 1893 when two sisters came up with the melody and used the song in schools. The song was first known as Good Morning to All, and it was published as Happy Birthday in 1935, giving it copyright protection to 2030.
Now, in 2013, a filmmaker researching the song finds a 1922 songbook listing the famous Happy Birthday to You lyrics and presents it as evidence in a lawsuit, charging that the song should therefore be public domain. And since any work published before 1923 falls into that category, the case goes to trial. 2 years later, a judge agrees, liberating Happy Birthday for all, so we can all use it now.
Well, that's a lot of cases. People don't realize this. If you patent something, it's great. But that patent goes up. It depends. Sometimes it's 15 years. Sometimes it's 25 years. And it depends on the patent. And then anybody can use it legally and not have to pay you for it. It's just the way the patent system works. And a good friend of mine, his dad's company, we had to go through a lot of the patent process. And when I learned that, I was like, oh.
Well, in radio, you have to pay your CanCon,
all that
your
stuff,
SoCan.
Right? All that stuff.
And the music, of course. I mean, they deserve their money. There's no doubt about that.
This next story, I didn't know this, though. I did not know this. And
Neither did I.
know
There's
quite
another one that she's dug up that we didn't know.
I know a lot of stuff about Led Zeppelin. And their album In Through the Outdoor was recorded at ABBA's studio in Stockholm. The cover artwork had 6 different sleeves and was originally sold in a brown paper bag, and I remember that. So you didn't know what sleeve you were getting. And my brother had 2 tickets to a Zeppelin concert in Toronto when John Bonham died. He still has.
And I had tickets to go when he was for Chicago at that time.
Yeah.
And he died just prior to that. Because
he still kept the original tickets. I said, hang on to those, baby. Those are... Because a lot of people were mad in line. They ripped them up, threw them on the ground, got pissed off when they came out and announced it.
Love Led Zeppelin. I don't think I've met anyone that doesn't love Led Zeppelin.
2012, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going to be swearing because I think the best way to tell this story is to swear. You have to. So pin back your logos, and if you're offended by bad language, then carry on. But this is a real story. I'll read the whole thing. Because, okay, so this week in 2012, when Green Day's set is cut short at the iHeartRadio Festival in Las Vegas, lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong flies off the handle, stopping the show, going into a rant where he says, "I'm not fucking Justin Bieber, you motherfuckers. You've got to be fucking joking." Green Day is on the bill with no doubt Rihanna, Lil Wayne, Jason Aldeana, and Usher. And with the festival running long, organizers cut the punk trio set about 20 minutes short to make way for Usher, which would have pissed off anyone, I think. The band gets the news when they're performing Basket Case as a huge teleprompter flashes 1 minute. And he used that minute for his tirade, where he pulls seniority, and he says, "I've been around since 1988 before taking the swipe at Bieber, smashing his guitar, and extending a middle finger." Armstrong, a highly functional alcoholic, later admits that he was drunk, couldn't remember a thing he said that night. But he was pissed, and I don't blame him for being pissed, but he went a little overboard there. And no, we know you're not Justin Bieber, okay? I like Justin Bieber, actually. But
I wonder how he's doing, actually.
Yeah,
I haven't heard much about him.
I haven't heard anything. It's just he was having problems with his jaw.
Do you see that video?
Yeah.
One eye's blinking, one's not.
He's a good kid.
That's a serious neurological thing. When that starts happening, there's a serious neurological problem.
I hope he's okay because he's a talented kid.
Very talented
and we love
man.
Justin Bieber. He's a kid from Stratford. He's one of ours.
You should see him on a drum kit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Good drummer.
Oh my God, the man
I'd like
could play.
to meet that little fella.
The man could play, and I hope he's doing well. No, I don't listen to a lot of his music. My kids did.
Well, we
but-
play
we
working
play
with
some
the
of
new
his
music
stuff.
now. I'm getting to listen to the newer music, and it's hanging in the music. There's a hook to the new music.
He's
if you
still
give
a
it
fellow
chance.
musician, and he's
Sure.
still.
He's talented. You know, the
he's-
media. He was a kid when he
Oh,
got started. So he's going to make mistakes.
I think
but
he
it's
handled
media,
it very
right?
well,
I think
being
so,
a
too.
kid
I do
and
too.
coming up in that because he was surrounded
When you
by
got
nutcases.
$200 million and you
Yeah.
can party all you want.
He's a kid he's a normal
He was a
kid.
kid. He's gotta
local
learn,
kid
but he
from
learned
Stratford,
at your age.
Ontario.
He
Like,
learned on the spotlight.
He had to.
Yeah, I
so,
love him.
Right?
proud of him.
another cool story. Yosef Islam, formerly Mr. Cat Stevens, is denied entry into the United States when he shows up on a terrorist watch list, accused of funding terror groups. Islam, traveling with his 21-year-old daughter, is aboard a plane headed from London to Washington, D.C. when it's diverted in an airport in Bangor, Maine. They're taken off the plane, separated, questioned, and sent back to England the next day.
This is the guy that had the peace train. You know what I mean?
Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon.
No, that's Harry Chapin.
Oh, Harry Chapin, sorry.
I'm
yeah.
glad he made a mistake because I blew it with the drummer from the Rolling Stones last
Oh,
week.
right.
But sometimes we get ahead of ourselves.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yes, exactly. Cat Stevens. Do you know who had a crush on Cat Stevens?
You?
No. Well, I love his music. My favorite Cat Stevens
He had
song.
to think about that, though.
I know,
He did have
I'm
to stop
thinking.
and think about it.
My favorite Cat Stevens song is "I Love My Dog." I love
Yeah.
that song. And Matthew and Son, which is another song.
Yeah, Matthew and Son's a good one.
Matthew and
That's
Son
it.
is a British hit that it didn't really chart that well here, but it was his best. And what was I going to say about him? I was going to say something. Oh,
See, he's
do you
still
know had a
thinking about
crush on him was Carly Simon.
Yeah.
And that song,
Oh, I didn't know that.
you know that song Anticipation?
Oh, yes.
That song Anticipation, Carly wrote because he kind of stood her up for a half an hour on the date. And she was so nervous. And everybody thinks it's got something to do with ketchup. No, it's got nothing to do
I thought you were
with
saying
Cat Stevens.
constipation.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's another version. Weird Al had that one or something, didn't
Something
he?
like that.
But yeah, okay. Here's a wee tidbit for you. VJ Records, who released the first Beatles singles in the U.S. Do you know they made a mistake on the print?
On the print.
They put 2 T's in the Beatles,
The
and there were
Beatles.
2 T's in the Beatles.
The Beatles.
I'll do one more here. This week in 1960, Harold Ballard and the Midnighters had the honor of being the first group to have 3 songs in the U.S. Top 100 at the same time. Incredible guy, Harold Ballard. Finger Poppin' Time, Let's Go, Let's Go, Let's Go, and The Twist all made the top 30. Ballard refused to perform The Twist on a highly rated TV show. So Chubby Checker picked up the song because Dick Clark wanted him to sing it. And look what happened. Checker's version went to #1 twice. 1960 and 1962 was the most popular dance song of all
God,
time.
it was
But it
crazy.
was
It was
written
crazy.
and performed by Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. And that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Don't know.
And actually, you know what? I like Hank's version better just because I haven't heard it as much.
Maybe, yeah.
Chubby's
Yeah.
is great, but I've heard
Yeah.
it so much, you know.
Chubby's fell into that, if you make it the right look and sound, then it'll be a pop song. And,
And then
back
it's overplayed.
And then
Yeah.
it's,
For years.
constantly played.
Now
and
this is a
redone
sad.
and redone.
This is a sad story from
Yeah,
1973.
1973 country rock singer and songwriter, 26-year-old Graham Parsons, formerly of the Byrds, the Flying Burrito Brothers, died under mysterious conditions in Joshua Tree, California. His death was attributed to heart failure, but was later officially announced as a drug overdose. His coffin was stolen by 2 of his associates. Bizarre as hell as that
this
is.
is a crazy story.
Manager Phil Kaufman and Michael Martin, a former roadie for the Byrds, and it was taken to Cap Rock in the California desert, where it was set alight in accordance to Parsons' wishes. The 2 were later arrested by police. Parsons had been recovering from a drug and alcohol addiction, but relapsed during his trip to Joshua Tree National Park. He was clean and took a strong shot, his friend Keith Richards said. He's the one mistake you don't want to make.
It is, you know. I mean, if you're, you've been clean and you're a junkie, he took too much and died. But that's, these stories. I don't know.
you hear
I've never heard that one either.
The bizarre factor too that maybe he did say, I want you guys to take my coffin and take me
I
out.
believe he
and
did. Honestly, I believe
You know,
that he did.
maybe he did. Who's to say he didn't? You know, the guy
Why would they do
was
it
a very
otherwise?
eclectic fella, and you know.
By the way, when I die, I want my ashes to be spread in the fairgrounds in Georgetown. Just let me go.
The squirrels.
With the
With the squirrels. With
Yeah.
Fred, and Fred.
Fred.
Well, I name them all Fred when I'm feeding them, so I don't, get them all confused. It's Fred, Frederica, and Fred. Actually, if you want to get
Frederica.
really. But yeah, okay. Here's one, and this is important because this is kind of a historical
This
monument.
was big, man. When this happened,
Frank Zappa, John Denver, and Dee Snider of Twisted Sister. I couldn't think of any three further apart in music than those three.
Yeah.
They testify at a Senate hearing where the Parents Music Resource Center argue for a rating system on music. The musicians explain that this is censorship, but the PMRC wins in victory, and warning labels are ordered on albums containing explicit lyrics. The battle over offensive song lyrics has been brewing for a while, but Johnny Cash never had to worry about legislative action when he sang about shooting a man in Rio just to watch him die, and Alice Cooper couldn't prompt hearing when he sang about necrophilia. And it takes actually Prince and Madonna to bring it to the Senate floor.
yeah.
Prince.
Oh, the musicians that were lining up to testify against this whole action was crazy. Like there was a lot of, and and not just musicians, but politicians as well. Movie stars that were backing them as well. Like, come on, like really, this is, and I agree, it was censorship in my opinion. So.
Well, I mean,
in my opinion, that's my.
Well, that's my opinion
agree.
too, because I
Mine
think
too.
that, and Jim Morrison hit it on the head when he said, these are our songs, and if you guys how dare you tear us, then don't play it. If
Yeah.
it says fuck, don't play it. If you don't want, or edit it out, whatever you want to do with yours, but you're not taking that away from me.
No.
And on the radio stations that we program now, we don't have to worry about it, FM 108, but on Halton Hills Online and GTA, the two stations I program, I sometimes I leave the word fuck in there because it's accepted now, and
Well, it's a lot more accepted.
there was actually a top 40 hit that said fuck in it that made the top 10. I couldn't imagine being a DJ on mainstream radio and playing that
60s
nowadays.
Yeah,
I
I
would
know.
feel uncomfortable, but that's my generation, and you have to look at the fact that music has changed, and we're all older. We know what the word fuck is. It's not something we use. I don't like saying the word. I've said it several times this show. But
several times.
no, but I'm just because
He's made up for 2 years.
yes, and I'm glad that I got the story with all the juicy words in it. But they're just words, and we're the same people on the air as we are off.
Well, I've said this for years and years and years and years and years. And one of my teachers said this when I was in broadcast school was, there is 100 ways to tell somebody to fuck off, and you can tell it where it's funny, you can tell it's where it's mad, you can tell it's where it's a joke, you can tell where it's, and it's all in the tone, connotation, everything, the way you present it. It's a word. Like, you think of now we're in Canada here, so I'll say the C word. See you next Tuesday. But in Britain,
that's a horrible word. Though.
In Britain,
raised that way too, though.
But in Britain, it's not. Whereas it is here. So you look at the language differences, and it's
same as bastard means more.
See, that one I don't mind. The C word, though, I've never ever in 57 years.
I don't like C word.
I have never once said that word ever.
Well, I'm sure you've said it to yourself.
No, actually, I haven't.
Oh, come on.
No,
You're
I
a
can
human
tell you
being.
look
You have
in
a
the
mind.
face and I can say no. Now I've said other
You've
words.
just said it to yourself a
but
million
not that
times
one.
just in the last 10 seconds.
No, I say the C word. It comes up the C word.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly,
The C word. Well, I'm proud of you. You can do that.
I'm just saying that over in Britain, it's a regular common word. It's like somebody. You're a bitch.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. Because I've even seen women using it in films and stuff. Because I get a lot of the British network, and
it's upbringing.
It's just a different. It's a different take on the language. So
that's
people that get offended by the word fuck, well, fuck off.
Yeah. Exactly. And you can't watch it. You can't watch anything on TV without somebody saying the F word. Nowadays, I mean, I wouldn't go
turn on. Go turn on Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yes. Now,
Richard
if I'm
Pryor.
on the air, that's Big Daddy time, and I am everybody's best friend, and I would never swear on the radio.
You've probably had this. I've had so many people when they see me go on a microphone, or I'm emceeing somewhere, or I'm DJing somewhere. I never swear. I never do. This is the only time we swear is on this VLOG.
Yeah, actually, it is. Yeah,
it is. It's the only time.
It's the only
and they
time
say
you
to
see
me,
the real us.
They say to me, you swear like a trucker when you're not on the air. When you go on the air, it doesn't even slip out of your mouth ever. I'm like, it just got ingrained in me in school that when that mic goes on, that guy goes on. Yeah. And it was also respectful because some events I'm at, there's a lot of children there, and you have every demographic, you know. It's so you can't just throw those words out there.
I never met anybody in the radio business. I've been in it almost 50 years that didn't swear. Okay.
Oh God, yeah.
Everybody swears.
Yeah. A lot of them do.
Most people in life swear.
Pretty much.
There's a few that don't, but I'd say 80% of people swear, and that's the way real life is, and that's the way
you
the
stub your toe, you're going to say some expletives.
Are you saying I'm not real?
You swear sometimes.
Okay, I do.
You do. I've heard you
Not
swear.
Not often, though.
Yeah.
When you
Not
stub
like
your
him
toe,
and
I guarantee there's some choice words coming out of that mouth.
1948, the first long play record at 33 1/3 RPM recording was demonstrated at the Savoy Plaza Hotel in New York by RCA Victor. The venture was doomed to fail, however, due to the high price of the record players, which started about $95.
That was a lot of money back then.
That's $1,140 in today's money, and it wasn't revived until 1948. There you go there.
And now you look at records and all these guys buying vintage albums and paying crazy money. I was looking at one the other day, $175 for an album.
Here's a crazy story from 1955.
Yeah. After DJs keep complaining that Les Paul's Magic Melody, the single ends abruptly, Capitol Records releases the shortest single of all time, and Les Paul's Magic Melody Part 2, which is merely the final 2 notes of the old Shave a Haircut tag, released only as a promo, and it lasts exactly 1 second.
There you go. Did you know you don't have, like in the old days, you could play 55 seconds of a piece of music and you wouldn't have to write it into your SOCAN category.
Yeah.
If you played over a minute, you would have to.
Yeah.
I don't know if that still exists because I'm not in mainstream radio anymore. Thank God. I'm on online radio where we have all the freedom we want. I feel sorry for people that work in mainstream today.
Yep.
They're not allowed to do a damn thing.
I don't think I could go back to
my
it.
buddies, I love them, you know, like Mike Devine and Craig Fox and all my pals and dumbass Barks over there. I love Barks. But you guys are playing by too many rules for me. I can't.
Once you get a taste of online, it's really hard to go back.
I love, you know, Peter the piano player with a polyester tie. I love bending people's minds. That's what it is. And that's what radio used to be in the 60s and 70s, was guys like me who used to take you on cartoons every day. Jim Brady, John Landecker, Wolfman Jack. These guys use the sound effects and the just to make, and we're doing it to entertain you.
And you could tell a story.
Yeah.
You know, in a short span, without it being long-winded, but you could tell a really cool, funny story, and then you play music. And when you play music that people love, they love you.
Even in the top 40 era, the Bill Drake "Shut Your Mouth for 15 Seconds" era, you could still get more creativity than these people are allowed to do today.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to radio today, and it makes me. It bores the hell out of me.
I drive around. I've got the USB stick in the radio.
I listen to 108. I listen to our stations.
I got satellite radio because there's very little, if any, commercials. It's just occasionally hear an announcer for like a second, and it's it. It's all music.
Yeah, and you know the golden days of CKOC and Chum and CFTR in our area, and of course WABC, KHJ. Those days are sadly gone on mainstream. They're not there anymore.
We gotta get through this, man.
Yeah, we do. We're almost done, aren't we? All right. So in 1967, the Doors were banned from the Ed Sullivan Show after Jim Morrison broke his agreement with the show's producers. Morrison said the performances that he wouldn't sing the words "Girl, we couldn't get much higher" from "Light My Fire," but did anyway. The Doors also performed their new single, People Are Strange. And although the producer told them they were originally interested in the band's appearing in more shows, that wasn't to happen now. Mr. Sullivan wanted you for 6 more shows, but you'll never work the Ed Sullivan Show again. It was all
and that wasn't even a swear word.
No, it wasn't. No.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I know
we're running out of time. We only got one more. We got one more or 2 more stories. Oh, we got a few. So you go ahead with yours.
Pardon me. 1978, the video for Queen's single Bicycle Race was filmed at Wembley Stadium.
No, Wimbledon.
Or Wimbledon, sorry. Wimbledon Stadium in Wimbledon, UK. It featured 65 naked female professional models racing around the stadium's track on bicycles, which had been hired for the day. The rental company was reported to have requested payment for all the saddles when they found out how their bikes had been used.
Bring out the free breeze, please. Thank you. That's disgusting. In 1970, Jimi Hendrix was pronounced dead on arrival at St. Mary's Abbott's Hospital in London at the age of 27 after choking on his own vomit. Hendrix left the message, "I need help bad, man," on his manager's answer phone earlier that night. It's very sad. Rumors and conspiracy theories grew up around Jimmy's death. Eric Burden claimed that Jimi had committed suicide, but that's contradicted by reports that he was in a good frame of mind. In 2009, a former Animals roadie published a book claiming that Jimmy's manager had admitted to him that he had arranged the murder of Hendrix since the guitarist wasn't out of his contract.
Yeah.
Now that's a conspiracy.
That's a big conspiracy.
I don't think so.
But again, another guy in that 27 club, it just drives me nuts. I hate that club.
Can you imagine the music that we missed out on because he's gone?
Way too many. 1978, Wkrp in Cincinnati, my all-time favorite show. A TV series about a radio station that switches from format from easy listening to rock, makes its debut on CBS. It lasts 4 seasons, enjoying support from real radio professionals who recognize the quirky characters, especially, Arthur Carlson. And
I knew a few sales people like Wkrp too.
Everybody's favorite jock, Johnny Fever, and their co-workers. So it was, and there was always the debate was who was hotter, Jennifer or Bailey.
Bailey.
Right? There was always that debate.
Are you a Bailey or you a
Jennifer? I'm a Bailey.
I think Bailey was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I know Lonnie Anderson's gorgeous too, but she's too much gorgeous.
Yeah.
Bailey was
high maintenance.
Without getting into sick, twisted stuff. She was a nice-looking gal. Just say that.
What's her personality?
That too. 1979, the Eagles released "Heartache Tonight" from their album "The Long Run." The song originated from a jam session between Glenn Frey and J.D. Souther, who would visit and Frey's home from time to time in Los Angeles when he was in town on tour. Frey and Souther wrote the first verse while listening to Sam Cooke songs. Wow. And in the heat of jamming, Glenn Frey called Bob Seger on the phone and sang him the verse, and Seger blurted out the chorus.
Isn't that cool?
That's how. Isn't that a cool story?
Yeah,
so how many rock stars are involved in this? You've got Glenn Frey, J.D. Souther, and you've got Bob Seger.
Bob Seger.
All 3 of them together.
That's one guy.
I had no idea.
I'd love to see him.
Who, Seger?
Seger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I love his music so much. It's just even playing it on the drums, I could put the headphones on and just go.
Do you know who you can thank for Bob Seger and Elton John? Rosalie Tremblay. She was the music director at CKLW Radio, giant radio station. That Motor City, Cleveland, Detroit, just huge. They had a news staff of 25 people, for God's sakes. Wow. But she had the best ear for music of anyone. And she heard Bob, and Alice Cooper's another one that can thank his career at CKLW Radio. And Rosalie has her own statue now in Windsor, God bless her. She died a few years ago. But all right, we'll get out of here now.
Yep.
We're brought to you this week by the Fort Frances Tourism Office up in Fort Frances, Ontario.
Totally forgotten that.
And of course, Fort Frances is a great area for fishermen this time of year, and for the fall colors. So it's discoverfortfrances.ca, and they're our sponsor this week on the radio stations as well. They sponsor our national weather. So there you go, and we've had a great time. Don't forget, Radio GTA is our freeform station, FM108.ca. is our station for the 50s and 60s and 70s, and we have a local radio station called Halton Hills Online.
A little local one.
Little local one. This is doing very well, as a matter of fact.
You know it's cold out when you can smell someone's fireplace burning.
Yeah.
My tootsies are starting to get numb, as a matter of fact.
It's getting cool.
Chilly and dark. And
love the smell.
What time is it? 6:35 at night, folks,
There you
in
go.
Acton, Canada, and this is how the light's going away. All right, so we'll see you next week, and don't forget to join us, and I'll let you close it off. And
Yeah. So everybody, have yourself a fantastic week. This is Big Daddy Russ Horton. I'm Lee Lakin for Leah Lywood, and Brody as well here joining
Brody's
us
going to be
today.
in the pictures too.
Make sure you watch for us every week. We love you guys for tuning in every week, and have yourself a great week.
Don't forget the radio reunion. I haven't forgotten that. I know what I'm doing.
say
She's standing back there going.
That has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nothing to do with you.
Halton Hills, Ontario, Canada. Canada's hometown, and we broadcast the Air Radio Network. We're proud to be here, and we'll see you next week, right? I got to go the other way, right? This way, like that. There you go. Now let's get into the Jammy Dodgers. And do you want to puff?
No. Do I want to puff?
Hey, man, give me a horn on
Give
that.
me a puff, man.
Give me a puff, man. But we even got penguins here. Bye, folks.